hard to sing while holding your breath, you know.
I was just waiting to see if I could. No. Oh, the hackers in their fetid dorm rooms, CDs in their skivvies, tapping carpal-tunneled fingers on a laptop key or two. Signs of scurvy in their eyes, the next I love you on their minds. It's from them I would expect to hear those E-words, not from you. We log on to have a chat, it's E-word this and E-word that. I can't control how you young people talk to one another, but I don't want to hear you use those E-words with your mother. There are newbies from Nebraska with their web TVs from Walmart, enchanted with their AOL and desperate for a clue. With their caps lock keys stuck down and all their funky punctuation, it's from them I would expect to hear those E-words, and me too. We log on to have a chat, it's E-word this and E-word that. I can't control how you young people talk to one another, but I don't want to hear you use those E-words with your mother. There are vigilante moralists with babysitting software, passing laws to keep us safe from everything that's fun to do. Trading all the latest lists of nudge-nudge, truly vile websites. It's from them I would expect to hear those E-words, not from you. We log on to have a chat, it's E-word this and E-word that. I can't control how you young people talk to one another, but I don't want to hear you use those E-words with your mother. There are nerds who think that God himself wrote Perl scripts for creation. On a 6-day caffeine high from drinking Jolt and Mountain Dew.
At the same time?
Absolutely. whose entire grasp of heaven has a lot to do with Linux. It's from them I would expect to hear those E-words, not from you. We log on to have a chat, it's E-word this and E-word that. I can't escape how you young people talk to one another, but I don't want to hear you use those E-words with your mother. There are CEOs of .coms with their MBAs from Stanford, crying Yahoo down the Amazon when Cisco's up by 2. With their IPOs and options worth $100 million.
Not anymore.
It's from them I would expect to hear those E-words. Why not you? We log on to have a chat. It's E-word this and E-word that. I cannot shift how you young people talk to one another, but I don't want to hear you use those E-words with your mother. That is rather obviously titled An Online Chat with Your Mother.
That song was egregious.
Let's hear it sung by a chorus of E-ones.
Well, it's just because I'm a little eccentric.
I want a real one. Chinese food and E-ones.
What's that? Online Chinese? Oh, damn it. I like someone else.
Christoph and Margaret bear partial responsibility for this next one, since they were the ones who sang Ratlin' Bog while I was in the audience. Somebody poked me and said, "You're a physicist, you can keep going down from twigs to bugs." That's right, it was Stu. And I said, no, I'd rather start from the bottom and work my way up. This has a very simple chorus you can all sing. The chorus is Psi Naught, that's Greek letter Psi, sub-zero. Psi Naught, the vacuum state, the state of minimum energy. And then you repeat that. Psi Naught, the vacuum state, state of minimum energy. Psi Naught, the vacuum state, state of minimum energy. Very good. And in that state there is a field, a Higgs field, a vector field, field in the state, state of minimum energy. Psi Naught, the vacuum state, state of minimum energy. Psi Naught, the vacuum state, state of minimum energy. And in that field there is a white string, a fine string, a superstring, string in the field, in the field, in the state, state of minimum energy. Psi Naught, the vacuum state, state of minimum energy. Psi Naught, the vacuum state, state of minimum energy. And on that string there is a wave, a fine wave, a quantum wave, a wave on the string, in the string, in the field, in the field, in the state, state of minimum energy. Psi Naught, the vacuum state, state of minimum energy. Psi Naught, the vacuum state, state of minimum energy. And from that wave we form a quark, a fine quark, a charming quark. A quark with the wave, and the wave on the string, in the string, in the field, in the field, in the state, state of minimum energy. Psi Naught, the vacuum state, state of minimum energy. Psi Naught, the vacuum state, state of minimum energy. And on that quark there is a charge, a fine charge, a color charge, charge in the quark, and the quark from the wave, and the wave on the string, in the string, in the field, in the field, in the state, state of minimum energy. Psi Naught, the vacuum state, state of minimum energy. Psi Naught, the vacuum state, state of minimum energy. And on that charge there is a force, a fine force, a binding force, force on the charge, and the charge on the quark, and the quark from the wave, and the wave on the string, in the string, in the field, in the field, in the state, state of minimum energy. Psi Naught, the vacuum state, state of minimum energy. Psi Naught, the vacuum state, state of minimum energy. And on that, from that force, we get a mass, a fine mass, a baryon mass, mass from the force, and the force on the charge, and the charge on the quark, and the quark from the wave, and the wave on the string, in the string, in the field, in the field, in the state, state of minimum energy. Psi Naught, the vacuum state, state of minimum energy. Psi Naught, the vacuum state, state of minimum energy. From that mass, we get a verse, a fine verse, a universe. A verse from the mass, and the mass from the force, and the force on the charge, and the charge on the quark, and the quark from the wave, and the wave on the string, in the string, in the field, in the field, in the state, state of minimum energy. Psi Naught, the vacuum state, state of minimum energy. Psi Naught, the vacuum state, state of minimum energy. To sing that verse, we need a man, a fine man, like Richard P. Oh, how we miss him. A man for the verse, and the verse from the mass, and the mass from the force, and the force on the charge, and the charge on the quark from the wave, and the wave on the string, in the string, in the field, in the field, in the state, state of minimum energy. Psi Naught, the vacuum state, state of minimum energy. Psi Naught, the vacuum state, state of minimum energy. Next term, relativity. Well, as most of you probably know, we lost one of the greats of science fiction just recently. So this one is by and for Gordy Dixon. Soldier, ask not now or ever where to war your banners go. Anarch's legions all surround us. Strike and do not count the blow. Glory, honor, praise, and profit are all but toys of tinsel worth. Render up your work unasking. Leave the human clay to earth. Blood and sorrow fill the portion of us all. Grasp the naked sword opposing, gladly in the battle fall. So shall we, anointed soldiers, stand at last before the throne, baptized in our wounds red flowing, sealed unto our Lord alone.
It's hiding down here. Sorry. Excuse me for just a moment. There it is. Bad song.
And why are you playing it?
No, it's a good song. It's just it's a bad song.
Oh, those songs.
No, he's spreading it out. That's getting me nervous.
A long song.
This is actually my first attempt at figuring out seriously how to do interstellar flight. If you want to hear about the second one, come to the talk I'm giving at Contact tomorrow. You can't get there with a rocket. A rocket's far too slow. A warp drive's just a fantasy by all the rules we know. Many a wise man tells us it's a thing that can't be done, to fly within one life to another sun. But we can build a road of star stuff to the stars, to the stars. We can build a road of star stuff to the stars. Now hydrogen burns hot, they say, it keeps the stars alight, light. But flies too thin between them to gather and ignite. To carry fuel and fusion torch too heavy and too slow. They say you cannot fly, and I say no. For we can build a road of star stuff to the stars, to the stars. We can build a road of star stuff to the stars. I'll take set one drop of fusion fuel at rest. Excuse me. I'll set one drop of fusion fuel at rest upon the road. I'll carry one drop with me alongside crew and load. Drop strikes drop, velocity becomes a star core's heat, and lights the spark of starfire where they meet. For we can build a road of star stuff to the stars, to the stars. We can build a road of star stuff to the stars. 10 years to build that highway, 10 million miles a day. 100 million drops laid laser straight along the way. 10 days to burn that highway down to ash and fusion fire. With every flash, velocity climbs higher. 10 days to live with hellfire and death upon your heels, to feel the God's own thunder behind the shields and steel. One spark of life across the void rides gamma-colored flame, to reach 1/10 of C and win the game. For we can build a road of star stuff to the stars, to the stars. We can build a road of star stuff to the stars. That may not be the way it's done when time it comes to go. There's tricks we've never thought of yet, there's so much we don't know. But never let them tell you it's a thing that can't be done.
in one life to another's sun. For we can build a road of star stuff to the stars, to the stars. We can build a road of star stuff to the stars. Yes, we can build a road of star stuff to the stars, to the stars. We can build a road of star stuff to the stars. How am I doing for time?
Got 15 to go.
15 to go. Oh.
15 songs, that is. Make them
Or
short.
until Steve gets violent.
Well, that could certainly be interesting. Maybe I should try for that.
Said Steve.
Yeah, you'd have to wait.
Okay, until Leslie gets violent.
Well, that's a separate problem. That's perhaps to be
This is a
avoided.
credible threat.
Yeah.
Jordan's experienced that one.
Violet. Yes, look at Violet before.
Oh, well, Mary Mal just sit on it.
The makes me think of the newcomer to Hollywood who stood up in front of a famous producer and said, producer said something like, "Kid, I've got power, I've got money, I've got, influence. What have you got?" Kid looked up at him and said, "Friends." This one is not on the new CD, which you can get from my lovely wife at the back. Ta-da! Mostly because I really didn't feel like pissing off the mouse. Super comet fragment impact, extra large explosions, even though a sight to stir astronomers' emotions. If you watch them long enough, you'll get peculiar notions. Super comet fragment impact, extra large explosions. That's your part. I used to talk of dinosaurs and layers of iridium until my friends all ran and all my neighbors hid. But now my tales of comet hails are what they want to know, and all because Ma Nature has put on a cosmic show of super comet fragment impact, extra large explosions, even though a sight to stir astronomers' emotions. If you watch them long enough, you'll get peculiar notions. Super comet fragment impact, extra large explosions. For several weeks those gleeful jinx would show up on my TV, trading all their theories about Shoemaker Levy. They had much more fun watching from Mount Stromlo to Caltech than a demolition derby or a locomotive wreck. Those super comet fragment impact, extra large explosions, even though a sight to stir astronomers' emotions. If you watch them long enough, you'll get peculiar notions. Super comet fragment impact, extra large explosions. Astronomers watch Jupiter with Keck and Hale and Hubble, but we could see those spots and flares with hardly any trouble. Be wary of astronomy, for it can change your life. I'll watch them with me girl one night, and now me girl's me wife. And a stellar thing she is, too. Those super comet fragment impact, extra large explosions, even though a sight to stir astronomers' emotions. If you watch them long enough, you'll miss a few promotions. Super comet fragment impact, extra large explosions.
The mouse wouldn't have a legitimate lawsuit, Jordan.
Oh.
That doesn't mean it won't stop him.
Does legitimacy ever have to do with a lawyer?
Oh, come now.
Oh, it's like the fraternity students, I suppose.
Usually, in order to make it through law school, they weren't born bastards. They were in college school.
Well, I don't know. I know several attorneys. One of them's my brother, another's my current stepfather, another's my former stepfather.
Now, that's
all
quite.
very nice men.
That's quite enough lawyer discussions. If we don't talk about them, maybe they'll go away. No. I have to admit this is one that emerged from one of the Filk contests at an East Coast con, where I actually hadn't submitted anything, but the topic was dreams, And after listening to people talking about dreaming of space and dreaming of dragons and dreaming of this and dreaming of that and all very pretty, I couldn't resist. I dreamed I went filking in my maiden form bra, which is odd since a maiden I ain't. I dreamed that I sang out precisely on key, which made half of the audience faint. I dreamed I was back in my old college dorm preparing to take my Filk final. But though I had players for tapes and CDs, I found all of my Filk was on vinyl. I dreamed I stood naked in front of a crowd with no idea what I should do, then realized that I had been singing out loud. Oh my God, I'm awake, and it's true!
Jordan, if you did that, would you be a bear care?
Okay, I can see what to do. Get a teddy bear, shave it, hold it, and have a tag that says care.
If looks could kill. Well, you do all know the classic verse about Fuzzy Wuzzy. Took me a long time to finally get this one right. Scuzzy Wuzzy was a bus. Scuzzy Wuzzy caused no fuss. Scuzzy Wuzzy wasn't Scuzzy Wuzzy. Well, have to put a classic in here somewhere. This is one of my oldest songs. It's now old enough, in fact, it's been old enough to vote for several years. That's right.
Is it old enough to drink?
Yes. We sail for amber on the seas beyond the world. Set sail for amber on a ship through shadow hold. Cold beer behind us, Cabra passing a lee, shadow before us to the ends of the endless sea. We are the men who sail for amber, let our wives and lovers tell. For when the call goes out that we leave at the dawning, they are bid but a brief farewell. Then we lift our anchor and slip from the harbor on our journey now begun. And the unicorn flag flies from our masthead, proud in the morning sun. We sail for amber on the seas beyond the world. Set sail for amber on a ship through shadow hold. Yes, please join me on that. All hands climb high as we spread our wings, white sail for violet seas, and our helmsman steers by the blood of princes as we drift on a shadow's breeze. But it's watch on watch when the storm clouds gather and the thunder fills the sky, before the gales that roar from reality's rim, down the world-shifting winds we fly. We sail for amber on the seas beyond the world. Set sail for amber on a ship through shadow hold. Till at last we spy on the shifting horizon some strange and foreign land, and the wreck of a war or a virgin forest or the towers of a city grand. Then it's gold for grain, red wine for rubies, barter, buy and sell, till our hold stands full and the
the salt sea calls us with the cry that we know full well. So from port to port we wander shadow, steered by our captain's will, and 100 legends behind our scatter of a ghost ship wandering still. We sail for amber on the seas beyond the world, set sail for amber on a ship through shadow hurled. Though tomorrow's voyages call to our souls and will not be long denied, yet tonight our sails see Coleman haven, and our hulls a familiar tide. So we steer for the center of the universe, laden with the wealth of 1,000 lands, to the hurricane's core where calm in chaos amber forever stands. We sail for amber on the seas beyond the world, set sail for amber on a ship through shadow hurled. And at last, when cold air clears the horizon, comes our lookout's joyful cry, and the gulls of the harbor rise in greeting, gray wings in an evening sky. And we pledge our lives as we moor 'neath the mountain, here at the heart of all, while we water and wind, sail and sea room, amber shall never fall. We sail for amber on the seas beyond the world, set sail for amber on a ship through shadow hurled. Cold air before us, Cabra to windward be, shadow behind us, always behind us, waiting behind us to the ends of the endless sea.
One more?
Yeah. Short one.
In the logical place for this convention in the logical place for this.
In the land of high-tech ventures by the waters of Frisco Bay, Hewlett Packard up by Stanford, IBM and San Jose, the hackers of the Apple wrote their code and schemed their schemes in the valley known as Silicon, where fortunes grow from dreams. But they built some fine computers if you skip the Apple II. But they vowed to build some new machines that would the market please. They would ease the user's burden. The command line they'd replace with the magic known as GUI, graphic user interface. Windows scrolling in the valley lead the hackers off on a GUI tide. It's blown on the chips down at HP Decades. The heart of the Apple Lisa never died. Oh, got another new one. Then from Xerox came the Alto, never marketed nor sold, bringing mice and multitasking and windows that and menus that unfold. Desktops sprouted, metal rodents, bitmaps glowed upon the screen, and printers put on WYSIWYGs to print just what was seen. Nearly lost in big blue shadow, incompatible with DOS. The Lisa, slow and costly, seemed sure to be a loss. But then came Macs and Fatmax, laser writers, twos and more, and word would come from Microsoft, you realize this means war! Windows scrolling said to the hackers in his anger and his pain, I am no more John Scully, scrolling Windows is my name. They condemn us to niche markets, call our products vaporware. We will sue them if we must, but we'll retain our market share. And they climbed on board that scuzzy bus with PostScript in their hearts. They won in desktop publishing, they won in graphic arts, till Bill Gates he saw his strategy and sent the email down to copy those GUI features wherever they be found. Windows scrolling in the valley, leave the hackers off on a GUI time. There's blood on the chips down at HP and Nips, but the heart of the Apple Lisa never died. 3 Windows versions later, past the Pentium divide, the strangest of bedfellows, IBM now on their side. 3,000 applications on the PowerPC run, but the buyers and the users still are leaving one by one. Windows scrolling in the valley said, my heart is sick and sad. The future now is risky, the old chips are dead. The lawyers take our spirit, but I've stock options galore. From where Scott McNeely stands, I will fight no more. Windows scrolling in the valley, leave the hackers off on a GUI tide. There's blood on the chips down at HGNS, but the heart of the Apple Lisa never died. They were sent to Intel platforms, Michelangelo ran rife, but more hackers quit from boredom and went off to get a life. And the man once known as Scully with great glee was heard to state, they'll get Windows 95 debugged in 1908. Still an occasional Y2K bug, but sometimes without warning in some dull commercial app. A hack of wondrous cleverness emerges from the crap. A metaphor that's graceful, a real need that it can fill. Double click upon that icon, the Apple Lisa's living still. Windows scrolling in the valley, leave the hackers off on a GUI tide. There's blood on the chips down at HD Nips, but the heart of the Apple Lisa never died. One more time. Windows scrolling in the valley, leave the hackers off on a GUI tide. There's blood on the chips down at HD Nips, but the heart of the Apple Lisa never died. And that one, of course, is on the CD. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jordin Kare.